The almighty Reaper, a job born from farmers who were sick and tired of being pressed under the heels of their oppressors, and decided to take action, grabbed their scythes, communed with an avatar from the void to gain untold powers, and now we can learn their ways. Hey everyone, so I got my Reaper to level 90, did all the new dungeons with him, and also tried out the trials, and, well, here are my thoughts of Reaper at this point in the expansion. By the way, this is not a guide on how to play Reaper, it's just my impressions. So, let me start off with what I don't like, because really everything else is very positive. And what I don't like is the ability Soul Sal, which feels functionally useless. It's instant cast outside of combat, so, you can always have it up and ready at the start of combat, but once you go into combat, well, Soul Sal gives me vibes of how Samurai's Shoha ability used to work before being patched to be good. For Samurai, you had to meditate to use Shoha, and really, who was going to meditate in the middle of a fight? Basically, it was clunky and not very fun to use. That's how I am feeling about Soul Sal right now. And trying to find moments of downtime in a fight where you can just stand still for 5 seconds to cast it, well, that's not fun. And it does nowhere near enough damage to be worth it. And that is really my only issue right now. I love the way this job feels and plays. The flow of the rotation is just so good. I think the interaction between using Soul Slice, Bloodstalk, Giblet/Gallows is just so satisfying. And what's more is, it looks cool. Reaper's abilities are certainly a feast for the eyes and soul. Now, I won't lie, I am not a huge fan of positionals in general, but it's only for Gibbet and Gallows for this job, so while I don't love it, I also don't really mind it. And then there's the Enshrouded combo, which are fast and hard-hitting abilities that, like I mentioned before, look really cool and feel awesome. Part of the reason this feels so satisfying is the abilities in this part of your DPS rotation are all on a very short GCD, so you feel like you are just brutalizing your foe when you pull this off. And then you end it with a 1-second cast ability called Communio, which hits like a truck and you feel pretty badass. And oh my god, when you string your Enshroud combo into a Gluttony, Giblet/Gallow, Soul Slice, Bloodstalk, Gibbet/Gallow, back into an Enshroud combo, oh, you feel like you are the Grim Reaper, and the seasons really should fear you. AoEing on Reaper is also a treat. You have a 2-hit AoE combo that you can use, whenever, which is Spinning Scythe into Nightmare Scythe. There's also your Soul Gauge AoE combo, which is Soul Scythe into Grim Swath into Guillotine. You also have an Enshrouded combo, which is using Grim Reaping twice, upgraded from Guillotine when Enshrouded, and then using Lemur's Scythe, upgraded from Gallows. You do that twice and end with Communio, and watch as that poor pack of enemies is thrashed into the ground. Next, the mobility for Reaper is also nice. There is Hell's Egress, which throws you forward 15 yalms, leaving a portal that you can then use the ability Regress to instantly teleport back to. And then there's Hell's Regress, which jumps you back 15 yalms, leaving a portal that, you guessed it, can teleport you back to where you were. I've found several encounters where using these abilities really helped with, well, making some boss mechanics a lot easier to handle. You always miss that kind of mobility when you go back to a job that lacks it, like going back on White Mage and having to hoof it across the arena. The last thing I wanted to touch on was that Reaper has party utility. They are not a selfish DPS like Samurai. With Reaper, you have a defensive and Arcane Crest, which puts a barrier on the Reaper, and if that barrier is broken, party members within 15 yalms get 100 Cure Potency Hot put on them. Not sure how much that will help in the grand scheme of things, but it is something. They also have a party-wide damage increasing ability called Arcane Circle. So yeah, Reaper brings the damage and also helps the party out at the same time. So yeah, I think Reaper is great, and I also think it's a fantastic job to get into if you are new to physical DPS, since it's pretty straightforward with how it's played. The barrier to entry doesn't feel too steep, I felt the abilities flow together nicely and made sense. But I also think that the skill ceiling is high enough that if you really want to optimize, you can have fun with that as well. That is what I am working on still, because I know I am not playing Reaper optimally. I know. I still let Death's Design fall off on occasion. And Death's Design is a debuff on the enemies that make you, and only you, it's not like Trick Attack, do extra 10% damage while it's up. So it's not great when I let it fall off. So yeah, Reaper, aesthetically, awesome. It feels awesome to play. The only minor nitpick I have is, well, I'm not a huge fan of positionals. The major nitpick is that SoulSal feels underwhelming, and I would like to see the developers do something with it to make it feel more useful. Also, they are a dominating DPS job at the moment. So yeah, if none of that sold you on playing Reaper, maybe the big damage will. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you are playing Reaper, what do you think of it so far? Is it your new main? My main at the moment is Red Mage, which I am loving. And I think if I were to go to physical DPS, I'd want to go to Ninja, just because I really love the Ninja's aesthetic, and been really enjoying how it plays at 90. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are all having a great day, and I wish you all a very happy new year. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. And until next time, bye!